Good morning, class of 2022. It goes by so fast you don't even recognize it. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you to the new student convocation. I am AugustModiga and I'm just about to start my sophomore year here at the University of Bridgeport. This means that exactly last year around this time, I was sitting exactly where you were sitting. I was exactly in your position. And I was a freshman who had left the comfort of my home and my country, South Africa. I was curious, I was geared, and most importantly, I was ready to commence a new chapter of my life. And funny thing is that the only thing I remember about my convocation was President Trombley mentioning that she didn't know her way back to her dorm, and that was exactly what my dilemma was. But lend me an ear for just a minute. I stand here before you more than anything as a student, a thinker, an observer, and a believer. A student not only of the University of Bridgeport, but most importantly, of life. The world is my classroom. From the debris of Southeast Asia, where culture and modernity coexist so beautifully, to the far west where we are now, where the complexities of race and socio-political economics are rampant, we see the experience the beauty and the pain of a melting pot of a nation. To the north, where the wounds of history are still very real and raw, to the point that it dictates how social interactions and engagement take place. Right down to the south, most part of the world, where I have the privilege of calling home. And this is how I encourage you to approach life, class of 2023. Approach it with a perspective that is broad, that is curious, that does not recognize the four walls you're in, or those 90 or 2 hours that you're in class for in. A perspective that knows no limit. We all know the saying, the sky is the limit, right? Well, for me and my world, the sky is the starting point. I believe that institutionalized learning is critical and crucial. It validates you when you get to those rooms and boardrooms, but it can only do so much. I say that as a student who is a double major in international political economy and diplomacy and political sciences with a minor in pre-law, who's also an honor student and is also on the president's list. So lend me an ear. Without personal development, you are now all you will ever be. And hell will break loose when the person you could have been meets the person you are right now. I'll say that one more time. Without continuous personal development, you are now all you will ever be. And hell for you will break loose when the person you could have been meets the person you are now. Constant cultivation of self, where you're constantly unlearning and relearning yourself. And we could go into depths about how there's such a power that is generated when you are in touch with your true sense of self, that untapped potential. But the question is, and it boils down to, August, how do I make the world my classroom? Well, I have answers for you because you're starting at the right point. Here at the University of Bridgeport, you have a plethora of opportunities where you're able to explore your leadership opportunities. I personally am involved in a number of organizations and have positions here at the University of Bridgeport. I am the Speaker of the House at the Student Government Association. I am the Vice President of Model United Nations. We've been to China in past years, we've been to Canada, and we're heading to Germany this fall. I'm also an orientation leader. I met some of you guys today and over the summer as well. And I'm also a community resource assistant at Barnum Hall. And I'm also in the final stages of cultivating a television talk show. So I've had to constantly reinvent myself, from owning a non-profit organization back home in South Africa to coming to a completely new environment and unlearn the things I know and reinvent and create a new me. I will also use this platform and privilege of platform to say that we need more people in the Student Government Association. We are such a powerful component of the student body, and we need more brain power. We need more people who are willing to stand up and say, hey, I will represent my peers. One last message I will leave for you guys is, and initially it was for the orientation students, but it actually applies to everyone in this room. The grass is greener where you water it. So success is not at a destination, it's not at some place, it is where you are willing to water it. It is where you're willing to cultivate yourself and reinvent yourself. And that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for your time.